In this demo, I will show the 3 steps for migrating to Lotus-Provider. In this demo, I'm setting up a single Yugabyte database for demonstration purposes. But users can set up multiple Yugabyte databases in a cluster to enable high availability. You can find the install steps for Yugabyte DB in our documentation. Let's configure the sector index to be in the Yugabyte database instead of an in-memory process on the Lotus miner. In your Lotus miner config.toml file, go to the subsystem section and locate the enable sector index db config and set that to true. At the bottom of the config file, you can also see that we have a new section called HarmonyDB. Set the host to wherever your Yugabyte database is located. In our case here, it's localhost. We can now restart the Lotus miner process to make these changes take effect. At restart of the process, the sector index will be initialized on Yugabyte DB, and we can confirm that it's working by running a Lotus miner proving compute windowPoSt command. In the final step, we will migrate windowPoSt to the Lotus-Provider and completely disable windowPoSt computation and scheduling on the Lotus miner, so that the Lotus-Provider process takes care of it. First, we need to stop the Lotus miner process. Then we need to get permissions from the Lotus chain daemon, which we want to connect the Lotus-Provider to. After that, we can run a migration script with the Lotus-Provider config from miner -- to layer base. This will migrate all the needed configs from your Lotus miner to Lotus-Provider. Before we can start the processes back up again, we need to disable windowPoSt entirely on the Lotus miner process by setting disable built-in windowPoSt equals true in the Lotus miner config.toml file. After that, you can restart the Lotus miner process and the Lotus-Provider process. We can confirm that the Lotus-Provider process now is able to schedule and compute windowPoSt by running the Lotus-Provider test windowPoSt task command, and see that it inserts a windowPoSt task to the database, which it picks up and computes.